So the question that I am going to ask right now is, what are the consequences of working with deity outside of the pantheon that is reserved for your bloodline? Okay. I'm going to start with the cards. What are the consequences of working with deity outside of one's bloodline? Wow. Okay. So the first card I have is the card for the mother. Okay. And so the mother is coming through and she's saying that it's ungrateful to do that. This is the card for the brat. I don't know if you guys can read that, but it's the card for the brat. So the mothers are coming through and they're saying that it's ungrateful to go outside of your pantheon, to go outside of your ancestors and the deity that your ancestors trust and work with. And then I get the card for bliss. Okay. So it's saying that you're making yourself happy. You might be thinking that you're getting what you want. It might make you happy temporarily, but you're hurting your mothers when you do that. You're hurting your ancestors when you go outside of them looking for answers. So if you are a black or brown person and you're calling on ancient Celtic deity, you're hurting your ancestors. You're hurting your mothers, okay? Now let's see what the bones have to say about that. And I could go on. I could turn over a few more cards. As a matter of fact, I think I will. I'm going to turn over just a couple more cards. The next card I get is the card for the drifter. This is talking about instability, okay? The next card I get is the card for the messenger. So it's saying that the message is that this causes instability, followed by the card for regret. And it's saying that you guys are going to regret doing that, okay? If you go outside of your bloodline, outside of your ancestors, outside of the pantheon, that you have bloodline authorization to the deity that were created by your people, for your people, you go outside of that, then you're going to regret it. It's going to be regrettable and you're going to be all over the place because they don't actually have the same levels of care and concern and compassion for you. Okay. And something that you need to understand is that we create the deity that we serve, right? We humanize them in a way that we can understand, in a way that we are able to approach them, and in a way that we are able to teach our descendants and our children how to interact with them. We have identified the same forces of nature on the planet as everybody else, but we call them by different names. We have a different approach to how we deal with them, how we call them, how we serve them, how they serve us. Okay, so if you go outside of all of that ancestral knowledge, all of that tried and true understanding and research that has been gathered by your ancestors over the course of millennia, and go into somebody else's house and start praying to their people, you're going to regret it and it's going to create instability for you. They're talking about having a firm footing, being stable. Okay, that's the next card. The end of illusions, seeing things clearly. The vampire, a drain on your energy. Okay, so they're saying that you will be firmly rooted in having your energy drained by these foreign deity. Okay, those of you coming out of the Christian church, how many chapters in the Bible discuss this in the Old Testament? Talking about worshiping foreign deity. Talking about kneeling at strange altars in front of strange images, okay? It's a drain on your energy, and you need to see it clearly. It's the end of illusions, all right? So you need to stick with what was created for you and by you. Return to African traditions. I'm going to ask the same question to the bones, or with the bones, I should say. What are the consequences of working with foreign deity and deity that is not associated with your bloodline? the first one, actually, let's see. Okay. So we got Yeye Oshun coming through talking to us, and we got the warrior Shango speaking as well. Okay. And so what we have here, the first thing that I want to point out is that I have the money stone over the clock. So it's saying that at this time, this is a great question. It's going to pay off, okay, to be discussing this at this time. So they like the question. Great. They're saying that at this time, these foreign deities will wear a mask with you, okay? You won't know who you're dealing with. You don't have the ancestral knowledge. Your people haven't dealt with these gods and goddesses and energies over the course of millennia. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. They may wear a mask with you. You may think that you're working with a deity, and it may be a jinn, which are two different species, okay? You don't know what you're doing, in other words, is what they're saying. I get the heart over caution. So they're saying, you know, we love you. Be careful. Be careful. Okay? They're saying when you do this, you're anchored in your root chakra. You're not being elevated in any way. You're not being illuminated or enlightened. You're coming from a place of desire. So you just want results. You're not thinking things through. You're not engaging your upper chakra, and you're just acting on impulse, okay? Because you want an answer right now, or because it feels good to be doing something different, or whatever the case may be. But they're saying that it's a very low level pursuit, okay? And you're stuck there if you do that, okay? Wow. I get the skull over the house, okay? So they're saying that it almost it's like it's killing your house. Okay, it's killing your household. You know, a lot of people have, when you walk in their front door, they'll say, you know, they'll have a sign that say, in this house we praise the Lord, or a Bible verse that says something to that effect. This is almost a tongue-in-cheek response to that. Like, in your house, your worship, it's dead. Your worship is dead. Okay, these foreign deities are not going to give you life. They don't owe you anything. Does that make sense? They have no obligation to you. They were not created by your people. They were not fed by your people. They don't owe you anything. So your prayers are dead. They may or may not answer depending on what you're offering them, but they're under no obligation to serve you. Wow, I get the transformation stone over poverty. Okay, so if you want to transform your situation, if you want to improve your situation, then you have to transform your approach. Okay, it's not going to pay off the way that you think it is. It's actually going to create poverty for you. It's going to create a situation. And this is so deep, and we've talked about this in previous broadcasts. It actually costs your ancestors when you go outside of your pantheon. When you go outside of your tradition, your ancestors actually have to pay a cost for that. And I wish there was more that I could explain to you right now, but you just understand that it's not good for you and it's not good for them. Okay? Tolls have to be paid, in other words. The heart chakra is indicated here. This is talking about disappointment and heartbreak. And really, what I think that this is in reference to, it's double-sided, right? It's a double-edged sword kind of a thing. Like, our deity are heartbroken that we would go outside of them, but perhaps we are going outside of them because we are heartbroken, right? Because we've been cut off from our traditions, because we don't know which way to go, or we feel like maybe they didn't protect us, right? Maybe we're dealing with feelings of neglect and desertion. Maybe we wonder how we could even get in this situation if we actually were protected by those deity, right? The deity of our ancestors. That's something to think about, and it's something to pray about, and it's something to ask for answers about. You understand? To pray on and try to understand that, so that you can get peace and understand why this was even allowed to happen to us. And by us, I'm speaking of descendants of the diaspora, right? We've been forced for so many years, at least 600 years, to worship foreign deity. And so maybe we're holding on to pain in our heart because those deities of our ancestors didn't protect us and they weren't there for us, or at least that's our perception. Okay, so we need to clear that energy as well so that we can move on. And then they're indicating the throat chakra as well, which would mean that we need to actually communicate. We need to speak to them. We need to tell them what is on our hearts. We need to engage in conversation with them. Prayer and meditation, right? Prayer is when we speak to God. Meditation is when we listen. Okay, we need to engage in both of those activities to try to have a better understanding about where we are and how we got here and the way forward. But dealing with foreign deity is clearly not the business, right? We have Oshun here with the danger stone, right? And so she's saying it's dangerous for us to do this. You don't want Oshun to dry up on you, right? You don't want the water of life to leave you, okay? She's saying this is a dangerous situation because if I'm not with you, then who is? And you better make sure that the deity that you're going to can do for you what I can, what I was charged to do, what I'm committed to doing, what I have been doing, okay? Know what you're leaving and what you're getting. All that glitters is not gold, okay? And then we have Shango. Wow, we have Shango with the upside down beetle. The beetle is on its back dead. So we got the warrior saying, you're not even allowing me to fight for you. You're not even tapping into my energy. You're not even letting me be your goon. You're going outside of what you know and outside of what is meant for you, and not even tapping into the power that's actually at your fingertips. And then the last thing that I want to point out is the brokenhearted tile. You reach our brokenhearted when you look anywhere else, when you look anywhere outside of them. It's also a betrayal. I get the quarter over backstabbing. They see that as a huge betrayal, which is why Oshun is saying, look, it's dangerous. Watch yourself. Okay? And then I get the eraser over fear. And I think this is talking about us being afraid and not necessarily knowing how to return, not knowing the road back home, is how I would interpret that. And so basically it's not beneficial to go outside of the pantheon that you have bloodline authorization for. Okay, it's not going to pay off for you. Your prayers are dead. You run the risk of turning your back, on the warrior who's willing to fight for you. In this instance, Shango, of the water of life, Oshun. And they're also saying that you need to be more creative. They're saying that it's the season for creativity, okay? Be creative in your approach. If you don't know how to do it, if you haven't been initiated and you don't even know where to start on your knees. Start on your knees. Pray. Begin to pray and meditate and ask for directions to the road back home, okay? And that is the reading.
So fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. 'Cause when we're here, there's nothing better.